What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another late night in the BrewLab with me, Lone Fox, your Brewmaster in Chief. And tonight, in the BrewLab, I'm coming at you with a mono blue Djinn deck, as voted on by the subscribers. So thank you all for casting your votes. Djinn and Tonic, as I'm calling it, got the overwhelming majority. So without further ado, let's jump into tonight's brew. I've made, I mean, you've probably seen this a lot on the ladder lately. The Haughty Djinn is obviously very, very strong. If it wasn't for you guys voting, I probably would not have played this type of thing. As you know, blue is really the least favorite of my colors, but it is very, very strong, and I've done a few little bits and pieces that differentiate my version from the ones that you'll see up and down on the ladder. So, what do we got? Well, of course, a full playset of the Haughty Djinn. I've also seen it on Twitter and other social media being referred to as the Hottie Djinn. I mean, look at the guy. Freaking 8-pack, all buff and stuff with that funky hairstyle. Very, very nice. Card, obviously, I mean, the fact that it reduces the casting costs of spells, instant and sorcery spells by 1 colorless means that you can play it on turn 3 and hold up a 2-mana counter spell. And then from that point onwards, if you get to untap, it's almost impossible to get rid of. The main enemy of this card I have found when I'm playing against it is the Aganjo, the white legendary land from Kamigawa, because it's uncounterable and it deals 4 damage when he attacks. But other than that, it's really tough to get off of the board, and the more instant sorceries you put in the graveyard, the bigger it gets. It's got flying, and you eventually swing in for the kill. But the majority of the lists that I've seen with it on all the other content creators' channels are only running like maybe 2 copies of the Tolarian Terror, and that's about it. So it's just the Djinn and a few Tolarian Terrors and plenty more counter spells. I don't know, I felt that was a little bit too much, and I found myself not actually finding my win con often enough, and so I've gone for a full playset of the Tolarian Terror, which also benefits from instant and sorceries being in the graveyard, because you can cast it for as little as 1 more often than not, and then you get a 5/5 with Ward 2, so that sort of keeps the ground lanes in check while your Haughty Djinn continues to attack in the air. But the spicy little BrewLabification that I've done to the deck, which I haven't seen around almost at all, is 3 copies of the Academy Loremaster, which is perfect in a deck like this, where you're mostly just playing a land and saying go. The Academy Loremaster, 2 mana, 2/3 human wizard, and at the beginning of each player's draw step, so it's a symmetrical effect, that player may draw an additional card, and if they do, spells they cast this turn cost 2 colorless more to cast. So of course the opponent is highly de-incentivized from doing that, because it makes their spells very expensive to cast, which also makes them a lot easier for you to counter. And for us, on the other hand, getting to draw an extra card, playing a land and saying go is great, because you're constantly just like restocking your hand with counter spells to protect your Djinn and to ensure that they don't get anything on the battlefield. This deck works a lot better when you're on the play, of course. You don't want them to get down any sort of like semi-powerful 2-drop that can grow. I'm thinking of things like, I don't know, even just something as simple as the sleeper, the Phyrexian sleeper guy, the 1-drop in black, or the 2-drop, the green one, the Kami spirit thing that grows every time they cast enchantment. You can counter the enchantments that they cast, but they still grow it, and eventually they get you on the ground. So for that reason, we've got 6 ways of bouncing their stuff, just in case that happens, and then we can counter it on the way back down again. So 3 Otawara Soaring Cities in this deck, and 3 Fading Hopes, really to just make sure that there's nothing that's getting a little bit out of hand on the board. And the rest of the deck, as you know, is just 1,000,001 different ways of countering every single thing that the opponent will cast at you. We've got 3 Syncopates, 3 Make Disappear, 3 Negates, 3 Ertai Scorn. So that's a total of 3, 6, 9, 12 counter spells. Should kind of do the trick, IMO. We've also got 3 copies of March of Swirling Mist. Don't forget that if you have Haughty Djinn in play, you can cast it for just 1 blue mana, and you can still target your own Haughty Djinn because the colorless would be removed from the casting cost, which is great. Yeah, not too many people playing this one. I've been seeing a lot more of slip out the back, but I like the fact that you can use this one offensively as well as defensively in some situations. So I think it's the better option. And then we've also got Consider and essential card in the deck, full playset of Thirst of Discovery, to not only keep the hand fully stocked with counter spells alongside the Loremaster. We've also got Thirst for Discovery to draw some cards, and of course you can discard if you don't have a basic land. It doesn't really matter if you're discarding unneeded or unnecessary instances of sorceries into the graveyard, because that just grows your Haughty Djinn and reduces the casting cost of the Tolarian Terror. And eventually the Haughty Djinn gets big enough that you can almost always just get in for like 7-8 damage a turn. It ends the game pretty quickly. So yeah, that's the deck. I mean, you've seen it before, I'm sure. It's not anything particularly groundbreaking, but I do really like the inclusion of the Academy Loremaster, and if this is the type of thing that tickles your fancy, then I recommend a 2 or a 3 of, because it's really been making the difference. What else do I have to add? Nothing really. Gin and Tonic, mono blue tempo. Can't believe I'm saying that. Let's jump into some games. I've sunk down right back into D4. Probably the worst day of Magic that I've had in about the last 6 months or so. I went from like 15 plus wins in a row yesterday with Mono Black. Today I must have lost something like 17 matches back to back. Just one of those days where the shuffler or the matchmaker or I had a bit of a headache. I don't know. I just could never get enough lands, or was flooding the whole time, or the opponent had the perfect counters to everything I was playing. Worst day in Magic in recent history. So right back down in Diamond 4, and for that reason, I'm going to be playing this in Ranked because I'm not so close to Mythic as I was yesterday. And that's quite disappointing, but it is what it is. I've learned to take the losses, learn from them, roll with the punches, as I like to say, and continue pushing through. Of course, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We've broken the 800 subscriber milestone, so thank you so much to all of the newcomers. Welcome to the BrewLab. It's great to have you. That has now triggered the giveaway, so I'll probably be doing the giveaway announcement tomorrow or the next day. So stick around, keep your eyes on the channel. I will be letting you know how it is that you can enter the giveaway. That's not enough counter magic for the early game kind of stuff that I'm expecting. That's a little better. Syncopate, MVP. Okay, mono red is a little bit of a problem. It's one of the most problematic. Also, we're on the draw, which is, as I said, not very good way to play this game. But hey, that's okay. We're getting our lands. We've got counter magic. I think we're good. We're probably just gonna Fading Hope. Whatever he plays on top of the Chapter 2 Kumano. Yeah, Mono Red's probably one of this deck's worst matchups, because they've got lots of cheap threats. So either we're Syncopating if it's a 3-drop, or we're Fading Hoping. There we go. Bye-bye. Let's get a Loremaster down. Worst case, we can bounce it. Or bounce whatever he plays next. It's cool that it's not all the spells in his hand. It's just the ones that... Cool, 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 cool. I think we'll bounce this. I'll take that. For sure. That's a pity. That's a big pity. Ow! Nice. I was a little bit more worried that he would come at us with the Rada and give it haste with the rabbit battery. We will take this 3 now though, however. I think we need to bounce something. Can't just keep taking 3 like this. It's getting too close for comfort. But Otawara here to save the day. I'll wait for him to actually attack. I'll still take the 2, but that just means he can't reconfigure the rabbit battery again. Still, we're really not doing too great here. Okay, finally, decline, play land, Djinn. Come at me, bro. Now it feels like we turned the corner. I can block. If you do that, you won't have any mana for something like play with fire. So I'm okay with that. I'll get you down against mono red. It's kind of ideal. The ward is just great. See, I mean, especially mono red, they never take the second draw because they can't afford to cast that. It's important to counter that Raiju there. Very important. You don't have the ward 2, so you can't target that guy. One mana. Counter spell at the ready. God, I feel disgusting playing this deck. Play whatever you like. It's gonna get counted. That's probably a GG right there. We can just thirst for discovery. On a red, just meh. And that's 10. Good game. Okay. Felt like I did a fairly good job there. Starting to climb again, but I went right. I was in D1. I cracked D1, and then the way, I mean, it happens at least once every season. You're in D1, and I just right back down to the bottom of D4. It was the most demoralizing. There were points there where I almost threw my laptop out the window, I promise. But a game 1 victory definitely bodes well for tonight's video. I hope we can keep the streak alive. I need some wins. I'm hoping my luck has turned. I'm desperately needing some wins today. Stacking mittens? Stacking mountains? Sure. On the play with a Fading Hope, kind of Syncopate, and the Loremaster. Not bad. Let's get the Loremaster down. Start drawing some additional cards. I was worried about red there for a second. Did not make a land. That's terrible. That's terrible. I really needed a land there. Please give me the land, baby. Yes, there we go. Ertai Scorn at the ready. If he manages to land something, we can also bounce it. So I'm feeling pretty comfy. Wow, where the land's at? Wow, that's crazy. Only 4 lands and we're on down to 43 already. What am I discarding? Probably... Oh, that's great. That's perfect. What? He's just doing 1 damage. Okay. I want to keep Syncopate. Okay. Okay, I'll take it. I don't think you properly read that spell, my friend. It's obviously very good right now against black. But it's X is the number of, you know, the power of... Anyway, whatever. GG. GG's. Let's hope the lands are a little bit more flowing in this one. Win or no win, it always sucks to break, and it's been happening to me way too much. I've had a good friend and partner that's in the Discord, Lobo, you know who you are. He's really been helping me with the whole Frank Carsten method, Another one land hand. Ay caramba. Okay, no one drop is good. Got Consider, and we got Fading Hope. Three drop, come on. Perfect, Sean. Another green deck, huh? I'm already missing the Loremaster. A Duke. Please scoop. I feel like you win most matches by scooping against this deck. Oh, there he is. Make him at least think we're holding up a counter spell. Otherwise, we'll just bounce something. At least we got the Loremaster down. Oh, we got some card draw going. I think this is crucial in this deck. Like, I really recommend that you give it a try. Swift 3-0 with Mono Blue Djinn. The Haughty Djinn. The buff Djinn. I wish I had hair like that. Can you imagine? Purple mohawk. If we get one more win, I'm gonna call it a night. Although I would like to end up playing against some of the more top tier decks, like maybe Mono Black or something, Mono White. See if we can stand toe to toe. But I have been, my win rates are totally good with this. It took a little bit of a learning curve because, as I said, I don't play Brew almost ever. Okay, Loremaster, Consider, March, done. I'm keeping that, even though we're on the freaking play again. And on the draw again. There he is. Mono Black, baby. Let's get that tenacious boy. Don't want to hold up Syncopate this time around. We've got enough land. We don't really need to play the Loremaster now. This is what I was saying earlier. Like, if they can get a cheap like spell through before you got counter magic up, then it starts to be a bit of a problem. You need to find a bounce spell and try and get it on the way down. There's 3 damage a turn. Will get you pretty quickly if you're not careful. Can't even syncopate this. There's always that option. Probably should have waited. That was a misplay. I should have waited in case he cast something else that we could have syncopated. But whatever. At least we don't take the 3 damage. Draws a card. Cool. Cool thing is I know this deck back to front. Like, He'll just kill this if I play it. So this is the wrong deck to be playing the Loremaster against. We need to have enough mana to play it, and now we're gonna take 4 probably. He'll swing in with the Bankbuster. Oof, it's not looking good. But we can play Terror next turn. It's just that it's also probably going to be the turn when he plays Invoke Despair. Such a broken ass card. I can attest to that. My win rate on yesterday's spree was just unbelievable. Godlike. Okay, we can still hold up the Syncopate for something. Or if he goes for the Invoke, we can, I don't know, try to do something. Just he's probably got cut down in hand. Sure. Although he should have actually stopped that. Then I would have been tapped out. Nice. Now we're Invoke Despair proof. We sack the Terror if he brings it on. Okay. That's not good. Oh, for crying out loud. Okay, this game's over. GG! Mono black, ladies and gentlemen. I did wish for it. And we got it. So we got time for one more, and let's see if we run into mono black again, if we can actually win this time around, or if it will be something else. But on the draw, they get something strong and cheap down, like the underdog. That's the way to beat this deck. Then the only way I have of dealing with it is having a bounce spell, and we didn't draw a single one of our 6. So, what can you do? Maybe should put in like an additional Fading Hope. Pepazzo. Pepazzo. Are you an Italian fellow? Very nice. There we go. Speak to the devil. Jeez. It's everywhere. Sure. We'll probably need that. Bye-bye, Lily. Always have it. We can both make disappear and March of Swirling Mist. Fortunately, he's super bricking. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Let's start swinging. Now the race is on. Can also use March at some point. Wow, the poor guy, he's not drawing a single land. Second Djinn makes an appearance. So now we can Syncopate for 2. Don't have to. The crowd goes wild. Alright, ladies and gents. I think that is going to be it for tonight's gameplay footage. I've had you know, a chance to showcase everything that the deck is supposed to do, and I think the real sort of BrewLab special that's in the deck, Mr. Academy Loremaster, or Mrs. Academy Loremaster over here. Oh, she's quite a sexy gilf, this one. She's well worth the spot in the deck. Unfortunately, it's very cut downable, as we saw, but in decks that aren't, you know, not black decks, just that ability to continue to stock up your hand whilst taxing the opponent is really fantastic in the deck, and I highly recommend you give it a spin. Otherwise, I have nothing much else to add. That game there, the one before the last against black, it did seem like we turned a corner. Tolarian Terror and Haughty Djinn, boom, but then he just found a way to, you know, he had a unbelievable. He had Infernal Grasp and Liliana, and then once they kind of get those off the board, it's almost impossible to rebuild with the deck. So I conceded. Maybe I could have come back. Maybe we would have top deck a Thirst for Discovery and Fun, and who knows. But anyway, other than that, I have nothing else to add. I do really like the 3 Otawaras, where usually most people run 2 or maybe 1 even. 3 is fine. And if you were to make any adjustments, maybe put in an additional Fading Hope. But as you saw, we did kind of find it when we needed it. Maybe you could even trim 1 Thirst and put in an, I don't know. You let me know in the comments down below. I always really appreciate your feedback. You know, have you been playing the Haughty Djinn? What have you been playing in the deck with it? I've seen some people playing Impulse over Thirst of Discovery, or both. but that's a full 4 of, that would take up, you know, space from other counter spells and things. But there's obviously plenty of other like blue things you could be playing here, or other different kind of counter spells, honestly. But I've been really enjoying this exact package, just exactly how it is. I would again really like to hear your feedback about it. But that will be it for tonight's gameplay footage. As always, thank you so much for watching, especially those of you who make it all the way to the end. You are my favorite people in the whole wide world. Thank you. I will see you all tomorrow with another fresh brew. And until then, this is Lone Fox from the BrewLab, signing out. Peace, y'all.